All right, folks, build-to-rent boom hits 30 billion amid housing squeeze. Let me tell you, this is an absolute disaster for the Australian public, and I'm going to explain in the next little bit, so make sure you listen up because this is really important. Number one, the Australian government is saying, hey, we will give overseas national companies and big companies tax incentives that we won't give to individuals. There's an attack on that right now. I'll explain it a bit later. But what happens is for the next 15 years, they're going to say, hey, you'll only have to pay half the income tax rate that you would normally, 30% to 15%. We're going to increase the ability for you to get tax deductions or depreciation from 2.5% to 4%, way over and above what a normal investor would have. The states are in on it too. They're going to give them 50% land tax reductions for 20 years, for crying out loud. And they're going to waive surcharges for absentee ownership and foreign surcharges, which they make regular Aussies pay for. Absolute disgrace. And lending. They're in, let's give them some free loans, the Western Australian government says. These overseas big investment and development companies, some are owned by Australia, some are not. But guess what? They're getting all of their funding from overseas and cheap sources. And guess where the profits go? Not in our pocket, folks, as taxpayers, overseas. And then, maybe they're going to provide some affordable housing to our marketplace. Wrong again. The average built-to-rent property has a premium of 10 to 15% higher rent than a regular property. Absolute disaster. But here's the rub. This is what's pissing me off. The government is attacking the individual property investor right now, but on one hand, they're taking, and on the other hand, they're giving to the corporations. This is what's going on. If you were to buy one of those properties, you would pay 47 cents, up to 47 cents tax in your gain or your income. They're going to buy the property. They're going to get 15%. You get 2.5 depreciation, probably going to zero if the Greens have their way in this next election for negative gearing. But no, they're going to give them 4% and you're going to get nothing. You'll have to pay 100% of the land tax bill that's out there. But, these guys are going to get a 50% discount. You have to borrow in Australia. You're not allowed foreign funds. You have to pay 6 to 8% and keep all your profits here. But they can go overseas or get free money from the government or go overseas and get cheap funding and take their profits overseas. And, folks, those properties are going to be out of the Australian property market for 15 years. I think it's a damn disgrace what's going on. We're asleep at the wheel, Aussies. We need to understand this. Make sure you're careful who you vote for. Listen, that was a rant, but listen along for more tips. You've got to be on the right side of this if you're going to succeed.